Touching story about a client, somebody who always comes to mind is one of my favorites. His name was Mr. C. And when I first met Mr. C, he didn't like me one bit because me coming to care for him was totally his children's idea. So for the first few weeks, he just stayed down in his office and I came in and just did what I was supposed to do. And then slowly but surely, he started to emerge from his office and come up and we started to be friends. And I ended up being with him for a whole entire year. His wife passed away. He was getting ready to move to a facility. He was going to have to give up his favorite dog, Bumper, and we just had a great year together, and I had the privilege of telling him goodbye and getting him ready to go to assisted living. And you know what? It was like super hard for me because I had really fallen in love with him by the time that was over. But I also had learned a lot about being a friend and an advocate and a caregiver with him. Something I've learned as I've been a caregiver is just I need to take care of myself. I have a tendency to just keep going and going. Every time they call me for a shift, I say yes. I just continue to plug in. But I've learned that self-care is really important. It's important to go home and take a walk and reconnect with my own family, find things that I enjoy doing. And that's been a great lesson for me. Also a hard lesson. I really want to work with a staff who cares about me. I want people who know who I am, who know my likes and my dislikes. I want them to be able to kind of hear in my voice, oh my goodness, she's saying yes, but she really should be saying no. I want to have a safe place where I can go. I've been with many clients who have passed away or they've moved, and I really need to process that stuff. I'm an external processor, and so I need an office where I can go, where I can be safe to talk about my feelings and know that I'm going to be held as valued and esteemed as my clients have been to me. Yeah, those are the qualities. Yeah, I think some of the biggest challenges are when we get into our dementia, our Alzheimer's, our Lewy bodies. There is just so much training that we need to do for our care advocates in those areas. Those are really, really challenging clients. They're amazing clients. I've learned so much from being with them, but they can change from day to day, from week to week, from month to month, and it is a journey. And in those homes, another part of the challenge is that you are dealing with families who are grieving, like they had plans and ambitions and things that they were going to do with their lives, and now their loved one has been hit with this horrible disease, and so everything has changed for them. So you're not only an advocate for the client, but you're also trying to plug in and help this family too. So I think that is a really large challenge that we face as care advocates. I've done some really fun things. I had a client he was an avid golfer, and so one thing he liked to do was go to the golf course and just ride around in the golf court. You know, I never was accustomed to that, but they have all these little shacks where you can get free snacks, and so that was one of his favorite things to do, was stop and get the free snacks. So we would do that. I've had clients who have absolutely loved plants and gardening, so we've gone down to the botanical gardens. We've gone to Mall Halls. Mall Halls is a field trip all of its own. That's a big garden center nursery that we have here in our area. Also going to the symphony, just going to the parks and sitting out in nature, taking walks are all amazing activities to do. Caregiving is really in my DNA. I grew up in a home where my mom was a nurse, and there were always elderly relatives around in those days, and we were also a foster home, so I feel like it was just embedded in me from a young child that I was going to be caregiving throughout my life. I went to nurses training, and that was amazing, and then came home to raise children, and during that time lots of elderly relatives. It just seems like I gravitated towards helping them. And then when my girls were raised, I went into being a care advocate full-time, and it's just been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I feel like to go into homes, into facilities, into any place that a person calls home, and to just bring a little bit of sunshine and joy and peace to their lives is what we're called to do. So my hope is that I can do it until I'm way in my 90s and just continue to bring happiness and peace to those who need it.